Right, let's get one thing straight. When you're talking about proper engines, proper American Fiat 8S, you're not just talking about lumps of metal. You're talking about heart, soul, and a frankly biblical amount of noise. Today we're looking at a family feud, a battle of brothers from the same General Motors dynasty. In this corner we have the 5.3-liter LM4, the aluminum-blocked lightweight. In the other, its iron-fisted workhorse sibling, the 5.3-liter LM7. And arriving late to the party, all newfangled and clever, is the 5.3-liter L83. Packed with more technology than a space shuttle. They all displace 5.3 liters. They all have 8 cylinders arranged in a V. On paper you'd think they're as similar as 3 sheep in a field. But you'd be wrong. Catastrophically wrong. One is a featherweight contender, another is a sledgehammer, and the third is a scalpel. Choosing between them isn't just a matter of picking the one with the biggest numbers. It's about understanding their character, their quirks, and their very different philosophies on how to turn petrol into pure, unadulterated mayhem. So stick with me. We're going to tear them down, metaphorically of course, and expose their guts. We'll look at what makes them tick, what makes them break, and most importantly, which one deserves to live under the bonnet of your next project. By the end of this, you won't just know the difference between an LM4, an LM7, and an L83, you'll have a favorite. And you'll probably be arguing about it in the comments, which is exactly as it should be. Let the showdown begin. First up, the LM4. Now, if the world of V8S were a family, the LM4 would be the athletic, slightly posh one, the one who rows crew and doesn't eat carbs. Its party trick, the thing that sets it apart from its oafish brother, the LM7, is its construction. The block you see is made of aluminium. This is significant. It means the LM4 is lighter, about 75 to 100 pounds lighter, which in the world of vehicle dynamics is the difference between a charging rhino and a slightly more agile, slightly less angry charging rhino. It's a proper featherweight. This diet has profound implications. Bolting an LM4 into the front of a car, especially a smaller, lighter project car, means you haven't just dumped a boat anchor over the front wheels. The turn-in is sharper, the balance is sweeter, and the whole car feels more willing. It wants to dance. It was originally found in what GM liked to call premium SUVs from the early 2000s. Things like the Trailblazer XT and the Buick Rainier. Cars for people who wanted V8 power without the agricultural feel. It was a statement of intent. V8S can be sophisticated. Internally, it's much the same as the LM7. You get the same reliable pushrod design, the same cathedral port heads that breathe reasonably well, and a power output that, from the factory, hovered around the 290 horsepower mark. It's not a monstrous figure by today's standards, I'll grant you that, but it's a fantastic starting point. The real strength of the LM4 isn't its raw, out-of-the-box power. It's the potential that lightweight block unlocks. It's the perfect canvas for a resto mode, a drift missile, or anything where a favorable power-to-weight ratio is king. Of course, there are downsides. Being the more premium option, they made fewer of them. This means a trip to the scrapyard is less likely to yield an LM4 than it is an LM7. They are the proverbial needle in a haystack of iron. And because they're aluminium, some old school builders get a bit nervous. They worry about durability, especially when you start throwing massive amounts of boost at it. Are they as tough as iron? No. But for 90% of builds, that aluminium block is all advantage and no compromise. Think of it this way. The LM4 is about finesse. It's the smart choice for someone who understands that raw power is useless if the car handles like a canal boat. It's for the builder who appreciates balance and agility as much as they do straight-line speed. It's the thinking person's junkyard V8. A brilliant, brilliant piece of kit that proved V8S didn't have to be crude, they could also be clever. And light. Don't forget light. And now we come to the LM7. If the LM4 was the athlete, the LM7 is the bare-knuckle boxer who works on a building site. It is, in no uncertain terms, the sledgehammer of the V8 world. You don't find this engine in fancy SUVs. You find it in the engine bays of millions upon millions of Silverado and Sierra pickup trucks. It was built for one purpose, to work and to never, ever stop working no matter how much abuse you hurl at it. It is the AK-47 of internal combustion engines. The key difference, the colossal earth-shattering difference between this and the LM4 is the block. It's made of good old-fashioned, honest-to-God iron. This makes it heavy, brutally heavy. That 100-pound weight penalty we talked about? It's all here. Dropping one of these into a Mazda Miata is less an engine swap and more an act of geological resettlement. The front of the car will be in a different postcode to the back. It completely changes the character of a vehicle, making it nose-heavy and, shall we say, less than enthusiastic about changing direction. But, and this is an enormous but, that iron block is also its greatest strength. It is indestructible. I'm not exaggerating. People take these engines, these humble truck motors that have done 200,000 miles hauling wood and bricks, and they slap enormous turbochargers on them. They feed them boost pressures that would turn a modern high-strung European engine into a glitter bomb of shattered metal. And the LM7 just asks for more. It is the automotive equivalent of a honey badger. It simply does not care. This is why the LM7 is the undisputed king of budget horsepower. They are everywhere. You can practically trip over them in junkyards. They are cheap to buy, cheap to run, and the aftermarket support is so vast, it's practically its own economy. You can build a reliable 700 horsepower LM7 in your shed with a credit card and a case of beer. It is the great democratizer of speed. You don't need a trust fund to go fast anymore. You just need an LM7 and a questionable sense of self-preservation. So while it may lack the finesse of its aluminium brother, it more than makes up for it in sheer bloody-minded toughness. It's not the engine you choose for a track day scalpel. It's the engine you choose for a drag car, a turbo nutter bastard project, or a work truck that you plan on passing down to your grandchildren. It is brute force in its purest, most beautiful form. It's not clever, it's not sophisticated, but my God, it is effective. The LM7 is a legend for a reason. And so we arrive at the new boy, the L83. If the LM4 and LM7 are products of the analog age, the L83 is a digital native. It's the V8 that grew up with a smartphone. Introduced in 2014, this engine represents a monumental leap forward. It's still a 5.3-liter pushrod V8 because some things are sacred, but that's where the similarities end. This engine is packed with technology that the older lumps could only dream of. It is, quite simply, from a different planet. The headline act here is direct injection. Unlike the old engines which spray fuel into the intake port, the L83 injects fuel directly into the combustion chamber at immense pressure. This allows for a much more precise, cooler, and more efficient burn. The result? More power, better fuel economy, and lower emissions. It's paired with variable valve timing, which is like giving the engine its own brain to decide the best time to open and close the valves for any given situation. It's clever, deeply clever stuff. And the block? It's aluminium, just like the LM4. So you get the lightweight advantage, but it's a much more modern, stronger casting. It's designed from the ground up to handle the higher cylinder pressures that come with direct injection. This means you get the best of both worlds, the weight of the LM4 with strength that gets much closer to the iron LM7. From the factory, an L83 is putting out around 355 horsepower and a healthy dollop of torque. That's a significant jump over the old guard before you've even turned a single spanner. However, all this technology comes at a price, and I mean that literally. L83s are newer, so they cost more to pull from a wrecked vehicle, and the complexity can be a double-edged sword for the home builder. The high-pressure fuel system is not to be trifled with, and the electronics are significantly more complicated. You can't just slap a carburetor on it and call it a day. It requires a more considered, more modern approach to engine swapping, often needing dedicated controllers and wiring harnesses to make it all play nicely. So, the L83 stands apart as the modern, efficient, and powerful choice. It's for the builder who wants modern reliability and performance straight out of the box. It might lack the simple caveman charm of the LM7, and it doesn't have the same classic status as the LM4, but it is, by every objective measure, a better engine. It's the evolution of the species. It proves that the American V8 isn't a dinosaur. It's a shark that has just kept evolving to be the perfect predator. So there you have it. 3 engines, 3 distinct personalities. The LM4 is your lightweight, agile choice. The perfect heart for a car where balance and handling are just as important as horsepower. It's the connoisseur's choice. Then there's the LM7, the iron-blocked, indestructible brute. It's cheap, it's tough as nails, and it's the undisputed king of boost. If you want to make insane power on a sensible budget and don't care about weight, the LM7 is your answer. It is the people's champion. Finally, the L83, the modern marvel. It's the most powerful, most efficient, and most technologically advanced of the trio right out of the crate. It combines the lightweight of the LM4 with near LM7 levels of strength and a whole heap of modern tech like direct injection and VVT. It's the smart, contemporary choice, but it comes with added complexity and cost. It's the future, and for many, that's the most exciting prospect of all. Ultimately, the best engine is the one that's best for you. There is no single right answer, only a series of glorious V8-powered options. Are you a traditionalist who values lightweight purity? Are you a horsepower junkie chasing 4-digit power figures? Or are you a modernist who wants the latest and greatest technology? The choice is yours, and frankly, you can't really go wrong. Now get down to the comments and tell me which one you'd pick, and more importantly, what magnificent creation you would build with it. Let the arguments commence.